How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? With only 1 month left till season 19 and 2 weeks away from a pretty big update, what is there left to do? Well, I'll tell you what there is to do. Why don't we hop into the Last Wish raid? I know a lot of you right now are looking for some new content to try by yourself. So why don't you hop into Last Wish and finally get this raid done? It's fun and it's not that hard. So today I'm going to be describing each encounter as we've done it to help guide you through this Last Wish raid. So then let's get started. First of all, I had to grab a fire team of 6 from my clan. Normally, finding 5 other people can be quite a challenge, but with Last Wish on the rotation this week, I managed to quite easily convince enough people to join me, and I even had backups as well. Now you may struggle to find 5 people. Fortunately, that's why we have clans. If you search for a clan online, you should be able to find another 5 easily. But we're going to proceed, assuming you've managed to find another 5 people. Anyway, we then headed off to the left hand side through this rotating statue. Okay, after heading up the stairs and through the door, we find our first encounter, Callie. To get through this room, the objective was simple. There are 9 plates dotted around the outside of the room. Each of the plates will have a symbol above it. In the center of the room, there are 3 sets of 2 symbols. All 3 sets will have to be diffused. To diffuse these symbols in the center, you will have to stand on the plates on the outside if they match the symbols that are displayed in the middle. Whilst we was on the outside plates diffusing, we had 2 taken blight spawn, and we could see that the plates were split into 3. So we stood on the third of the plate that did not have a taken blight spawn, and that allowed us to diffuse the symbols completely in the middle. We would then get a yellow bar knight spawn somewhere around our plate. Now once this yellow bar knight had spawned, we killed it immediately. As soon as that yellow bar knight was dead, we ran to middle for damage phase. Now all the taken knights are defeated and the damage phase has begun. We head straight to the middle and start damaging Callie. Once the first damage phase is over, depending on how many knights you have killed, you will get the same amount of doors open beneath her. So you want to have ideally had 6 knights killed, so that would open up 6 doors. As you can see, if not enough knights have been killed, there's not enough doors for people to go and hide in. This is going to kill you. And then this encounter is just rinse and repeat of that exact same process. You will get 3 attempts at this. As you can see, the circle is split into 3 sections. There's 3 sets of doors. You'll only be able to go and hide in the doors that are underneath Callie. Once you've run out of the 3rd set of doors, you will wipe. Okay, the next encounter we came across was Shiruchi. The mechanics behind Shiruchi: we defeat waves of ads up until we have killed all the ads, at which point we will get 3 separate, they're like rocks that spawn. There will be 3 rocks that spawn around Shiruchi. You will need 3 people, ideally the same 3 people each time, so you know who's doing it, to stand on each of the 3 plates and shoot the person to their right to form a triangle around Shiruchi. Once you form this triangle and are firing at each other, it will break Shiruchi's shield, and then everyone goes straight in on DPS on Shiruchi, and it's the rinse and repeat of the same mechanic up until we come across the symbols room. Once you get to the symbols room, there will be 3 giant symbols on each side of the wall. It will be going from left to right, so left first, then center, then the right symbol. You will notice that the symbols are missing 4 pieces, and we need to complete the symbol. To complete the symbol, we have 9 pads in the center of the room, and we need to stand on the pads that correlate to the missing pieces on the symbol. So if you can see, the left side is missing pieces first. You go from left to right and you complete each symbol. One thing worth noting: you cannot step on the same pad twice. Once you've completed all 3 symbols, you'll be using the semi-spheres that are above you as stepping stones to get up to the next section. And then once you arrive up at the next section, it will be rinse and repeat the exact same process a further 2 times, and that will complete the encounter. Okay, and next up was Margoth. Now, Margoth is on the opposite side of this little ledge. You can see that building in the distance. Yes, we have to go through this portal into the separate dimension and jump across all the debris to get up to Margoth. The only problem we have, this jumping puzzle is probably the hardest part of this raid, in my opinion. If you're not good at jumping puzzles, you may struggle with this section. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best at jumping puzzles.
Guardian down. Guardian down. Guardian down.
And here we are, we're at Margoth. As you can see in the centre of the room, there is a buff right in front of Margoth. Collecting that will start the encounter, so don't start that until everyone knows what roles they're going to be taking. You're going to split yourself into 2 teams of 3 here. That buff that starts in the middle, the person who takes that wants to take the buff last as well. That is the same buff that will be everywhere across the map. The team on the left wants to organise who's going for the top buff and who's going for the bottom buff. So on the left, you're going to organise yourself into bottom and top. The bottom will collect the buff from the bottom, and the top will collect the buff from the top. And that's what's going to happen on the left hand side of the field. You only take 1 buff at a time. On the right hand side, you're going to get 1 person take both buffs, because when he's taking both buffs, he's going to get frozen. When he's collected both buffs, he wants to get out of the line of sight of Margoth, because Margoth will freeze him. Once he's frozen, he will have a timer ticking down till he dies. To stop this player from dying, somebody is going to have to go and kill a knight and collect the debuff from the knight and run to the player who is frozen. The player who is taking the debuff off of the frozen player has to have no buffs currently applied to him, otherwise he will die when he takes the buffs off of the frozen player. And then it is rinse and repeat of that until damage phase on Margoth. Once damage phase arrives, you have to kill him all in 1 phase. Once it's the end of damage phase, Margoth wipes. Okay, coming up next we have the vault. The vault is split into 3 sections, which is the stairs or spawn, and the rocks and the trees. It consists of 3 mechanics. The first mechanic is reading the vault mechanism. Second mechanic is cleansing the plates around the vault mechanism. And the third mechanic is killing the knights so the knights don't trigger their wipe mechanic. During this encounter, you'll be splitting into 3 teams of 2. Each team will have a reader and someone to help with ad clearing. When you wish to start the encounter, all 3 readers must step on their plates. This will then trigger the vault to generate 3 symbols for each of them. Going in the order of spawn, trees, and then rock, you will each read out your center symbol. You need to listen out carefully to the center symbol of the other 2 readers, because if their center symbol is on your left, then that means that your plate is given a status of penumbra. If one of the other 2 readers reads a symbol that is on your right, your plate is then given the status of antumbra. During the reading phase, there will be 2 taken knights that will spawn on 2 of the 3 rooms. This will block off the 2 rooms that they spawn in. The room that is left unblocked will have a bunch of ads spawning, and the reader with the room that is not blocked should go in and kill all the ads in their room. Once all the ads are dead, this will then spawn a taken captain. Once this taken captain is dead, he will drop an essence. The reader will then pick up this essence, and that is going to shift which 2 rooms get blocked. Whoever's room is now unblocked needs to call out, because the reader that has picked up the essence needs to know which room to run through to get back to the middle with his essence. The reader who's holding the essence will have an essence of penumbra or an essence of antumbra. One of the 3 plates will be penumbra and one of the 3 plates will be antumbra. So whoever's had their plate called out as penumbra, for example, and you've got the Penumbra essence, you'll then go and have to deposit the Penumbra essence onto the Penumbra plate. Oh my god, that was a mouthful. But here we are. Just repeat that process 3 times and you will complete this encounter. Here we are at the second to last encounter, Riven of 1,000 Voices. For this encounter there is a cheese which we will be using, and I'll be explaining the cheese method that we used. Once you get to this room there will be 6 plates around the room. All 6 of you are going to have to stand on a plate each. You will all drop to the room below and head straight to the what's called the blue room. Once you get into the blue room you're going to head straight through to the damage room and look for the shadow of Riven. If you can see the shadow, that means Riven is going to spawn and you'll want to stay. If there is no shadow of Riven, all 6 of you are going to head back into the blue room and stand against the back of the wall until you all get teleported back. Keep repeating this up until you see Riven's shadow. When Riven appears up, you're all just going to go at Riven with whatever the highest DPS weapons you've got, preferably swords or shotguns at this range. Just watch what we did and you'll be fine. You'll get through this. Once Riven has gone down to her last section of health, you will get sent into the other dimension. Once you get sent into this dimension, it's another jumping puzzle right up to the top. At the very top, Riven is standing, and you will just need to finish off Riven once you get up there.
Guardian down.
Once you have killed Riven, you will be heading through Riven's mouth straight to the back. Once you get to the back, you are ready to begin the very last encounter of the raid, and this last encounter is a relay race. It's quite simple really, I'll explain it. Okay, you'll notice one of you has a buff in the bottom left called Fate's Chosen. This will mean you have to pick up the orb. Once you've got the orb, you'll see the timer for Fate's Chosen will start ticking down. Once it gets to 10, you need to start counting down. Everybody else needs to stay as close to the runner as possible. Once the runner's timer is getting to the last 3 seconds, distance yourself because his buff is about to explode unless it gets extended. Once his buff runs out, he'll get teleported to a different area where he will then be ad clearing and occasionally picking up other buffs. The next player with Fate's Chosen then picks up the orb. It will say Riven's heart has chosen and then the player hit has chosen. Again, you will do the exact same as the first player did. You will wait till it gets to 10 seconds and begin counting down from 10. Other players will need to stay as close to you as possible. Up until the last 3 seconds will need to distance themselves from you because the buff is close to exploding. The player that gets teleported to the other area after going through is going to pick up the buff that he sees spawn. This will make it so that the next player gets a time extension on the timer. The last player with the Fate's Chosen and the orb is going to be going all the way up to the vault again. Once he gets up to the vault, he'll notice one of the sides is open and he'll have to go all the way around the secret connecting corridors to get back to the spawn area. Once he gets to the spawn area, he's going to go up the stairs and deposit the orb or Riven's heart, whatever you'd like to call it. He's going to deposit that straight into the stone furnace, and that ends the very last encounter of Last Wish. Whew. Look at that, under 15 minutes, not bad, eh? If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Please tell me what you thought about the video. I will see you again next time. You have no idea how long this video's took. Oh god.